Yan walu hatiligal hilden hani na wadiwanan watuo tanakina kani hakwan.
Yeah, I was glad when he came along. Everybody's bragging about my uncle this, my auntie that, did this and that, and CHN, and no one said anything about Percy, but I knew something like this was coming. Because he was one of the originators, inventors, or architects. But he credits him with inspiring him to be into native politics,
Yeah.
Miles Jr.
But he was unchanged. His spirit was unbroken. There was something always through that was very whole about Percy.
The Haida believed that the sky was like a tent, big skin or tent. They believed strongly and was a center pole.
Yeah.
Source of a song, or a dream, or a being that inspires the song, or maybe life inspires the song, and maybe the dance is part of that dream.
Reservation on the whole West Coast.
And one of the things I'm realizing is because this is, I'm having to face the fact that it is a morning. It is a kind of a morning. Hello.
This is not Indian time, you know.
For me, the center of this whole project is Percy Gladstone, and something of the impact that he had on me through about 25 years of my growing up. And I felt when I came back to Skidegate that he had a very powerful impact on many people. That his vision was ahead of his time. But even more than that, he was a great man. And I suppose in some ways I've often thought that it's through him that I came to dance. That's why I'm here. That's why I'm back in Skidegate, keep returning to Skidegate, wanting to, I guess in some ways it began wanting to fill in the pieces of the rest of his life. And also just, I wanted to say goodbye to him. And it was through meeting Gladys, through meeting Diane Brown, through meeting Melanie, through coming here to this place and meeting with the elders that were gathered one of the first days that I came here. And they talked about Percy and began to fill in some of the blanks in my own understanding of him. I knew the 25 years that he spent in the non-Haida white world where he was very close to my family. Ralph, I didn't know what had happened to him. He had disappeared out of my life. What had happened to gone into another world, disappeared out of my life, gone into another world, into another world.
Who's all down there? What are you guys doing?
Let her rip, Mel.
You guys singing? Dancing?
Yeah,
We're gonna
she's sort of defining. It's still in its new stages, so she's still deciding which direction it's gonna go.
I could see you were kind of a little bit lost, so I just helping you. Okay.
You made your drum tap.
I know that I got it for graduation from my grandparents.
So anyway, and then the women's song, it just goes and you should take a step down and then one more to show your blanket to everybody. or to like, you know, you have to show your blanket to the people, or like to the chiefs or whoever. The women are trying to be better than the men try to be louder and dance better. Like they have a different style, you know. They go, yeah.
Right. Yes.
Or, you know,
Yeah.
Our Haida Gwaii so far, like, it's amazing. It's baffling.
yeah.
It's fascinating. Confusing.
You're in the land of the Haida. Anything's possible. Okay?
I would like to get to a place where something's emerged enough, other people to be able to see it in the community. People that I think it's important to see it.
Because I think there's probably is going to be some things that people don't want shared with the rest of the world.
Mhm.
And
Well, that's
if that's the intent, then you have to know where that line is as you're developing this stuff, so that you don't.
Point, and that's what I'm trying to find out where the line is.
There will be stuff that that shouldn't be shared.
Some of the things are just too sacred to be recorded on camera.
Yeah, that's what is important to know.
Yeah. But I think it's also at the same time it's important to share something so that people can learn and understand.
So any ideas how to find out where that line is?
When you meet with the elders, share with them what you want to do with it and find out, well, is it okay?
Songs are so high up in the Haida way.
Protected by
the law. Songs are so high up
Protected.
in the Haida way.
I just want to sing. Hey, Mel? Just kidding.
So have you decided on any songs that could be used so far?
And there must have been thousands of songs, wouldn't there have been at one point? If every family had a whole body of song? And this is only 90. There must have been thousands. So I'm really seeing that the steps or the building blocks are songs. That there's no other way to build it.
Right.
One of the things I've been wondering is whether you know, are there any songs that belong to the clan?
No.
I think it would be wonderful to have one song, new song created. But I think then the question is, how do people go about creating Haida songs? It should be like a celebration.
So it'd be family and friends.
Because the clan should come out with phone moment. Would somebody like to put well, you will be coming out with phone moment. And once phone moment will keep on going, and then there'll be a clan dance. Dancing up to the rest. So for now, if you could just be like facing water,
some of the Haidas ran for the hills when their people were dying, you know?
Get really angry inside and colonialism stuff.
Ran for the hills.
The 1862 epidemic.
They were always trying to suppress the Indians and
Germ warfare was 1962 epidemic.
Swooped into villages such as Skagit and Knesset.
And so I was thinking counterpointing, you know, some of this like legislative history or history of smallpox.
There had been a vaccine available by the time the 1862 epidemic hit our people.
It wasn't made available.
No.
Well, according to George MacDonald, who cites Swanton, that there is a Haida word for a supernatural being that translates as pestilence. Catherine Gold thought it might have come from, there might have been really, really early contact, like before the...
Kind of knew that, but
Yeah.
I've never seen anything
No representation. I took it to ship to find out if anybody recognized the word. Hyathyllus. Hayathylis. And they were supposed to travel on canoes with great webbed white wings. This gigantic apparition of huge white winged death, and just slowly come forward.
Because tears are supposed to be the ice melting from around your heart.
Like dark and light, sorrow or loss, but also laughter.
Around
That
your heart.
balance, and wow. I love it.
Hey you guys, how's it going?
Yeah, this is going to be wonderful. Now we just need some dancers for these masks.
Yeah.
Solely based on you guys, all you children. Has nothing to do with me. It has everything to do with paying tribute to a man who was very important in this village. We have to keep remembering that, even through these tough practices. Just a reminder for all you kids in the lineup, you have to keep the arms out like this. You know what you're supposed to do in this race dance, you've done it 100 times. You don't have to be visually shown what to do, you know what to do. They burn a certain song, you always listen to the drum beat. Like a heartbeat, the drum beat. You move with it. You listen to the drum beat, that's your heart. It shows you what to do. And if you're unsure, who do you look at? Doreen. When you guys dance, your heart is dancing to the floor. And that's what counts.
When you were growing up, were people still telling stories?
At the feast things.
Okay.
Whenever there's a feast, that's when they used to
Yeah.
pass on the oral history.
So tell me why kids hide a dance in Skidegit.
So, do you know their clan?
Yeah?
They lived in Tanu for I don't know how long.
Yeah.
And then they had a falling out with their uncle
Oh, in Tanu?
in Tanu.
Oh, okay.
So the uncle gave, or the father gave them Church Creek,
Oh, okay.
to live in Church Creek.
Oh, okay. So that was like one portion of the family?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
That is our, Protestant faith.
Yeah.
Our family, that's Percy and
Yeah.
Auntie Emma and Arthur Moody and Miles Richardson's family.
Yeah.
They're the ones I know of that
Yeah.
moved to
The Church Creek, those
to
families.
Church Creek. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
From Ellsworth, there was Percy's mother and my grandmother. They were sisters, but I remember Percy's mother. Passed away in
Josephine, wasn't her name Josephine? Yeah, I remember reading that. You remember her?
Oh yeah, we used to call her Satnanai.
Oh.
Satnanai, that means high. She used to live way up on the hill.
Oh, okay.
To us, that
Yeah,
seemed
yeah.
high. Because when I was small, I think we used to speak high then.
Yeah, that's what I would have thought.
Yeah.
And Percy spoke Haida, I know, when he was small.
Oh yeah.
But, yeah.
A ritual with us to announce all the birthdays month that we have our annual planned dinner and to introduce
which are the crests for the clan?
Yeah. The wolf, the killer whale, it's the raven, and the thunderbird.
Wonderful to use this space with its multi-level. And it would be wonderful to try to get a feeling of going down, so you have that sense of the different levels of the universe.
I know where they come from.
So tell me more
I should
about
tell you the idea about this one too.
where she's going to go.
This is like going to represent full moment in a dance. And I see her shade, different colors of white, gray, and a little bit of light green to represent coming out of the foam. I think it should turn out pretty nice. Once it's done, she'll have a little bit of breath. Probably a nose ring that signifies nobility. Quite happy with it when she's done because I see it happen, see it finished already.
Yeah.
Later on in years, my mother passed on the name Iljois to Percy.
Yeah, I remember you telling me that last time. That's it.
And when Percy passed away, she passed the name on to Bill.
Yeah. Yeah. Bill Reed. Yeah. And do you know
Now
what?
my little nephew is called Iljois.
Okay.
As you watch it tonight, it is more than anything else an image of somebody coming to a world that they don't know and gathering fragments of memory of somebody they loved and trying to transform those fragments of memory into a whole picture of somebody that they love dearly. So that every time the Recollector song comes back and the people that come forward and give their memories represent the community that are giving those fragments, those pieces, because none of us has the whole picture. It's only when people bring their memories, their fragments of the whole, that we can begin to understand and bring the whole spirit of somebody that we want to stay with us. And again, perhaps that's why I'm here. I want the wholeness of this spirit of a man who was so important to me. So, in this dance, what you're looking at is a long process of transformation, of coming to understand. First, this individual man who played so many different roles. He was a scholar, he was a fisherman, he was a navigator, he was a teacher. All of these roles, and more than anything, he was a warrior, but a warrior with ideas who fought for what he believed in.
In 1942, he joined the Canadian Air Force. There he became a pilot and navigator. Continued his education and receiving a Master of Arts degree in economics. Finally, in 1972, he returned home to Haida Gwaii. He brought his wisdom, his strength, and the vision that he had for the Haida Nation.
At the time, we had to have some other, what do you call, body in place, so we started to build a political might. And in the early years of restarting Council of the Haida Nation, we had asked for some help from people like Percy Gladstone, Percy Williams, all the other elders during that time, and reshaping and redefining and how a CHN or Council of the Highland Nation would work. So we had to restart that whole thing, and Percy Gladstone was one that helped us.
Not you, it's not me, it's something bigger.
Spirit navigating, spirit the navigator through this, navigating.
Something bigger.
ska kigawai